Hey there, and welcome. So, if you've ever felt completely stumped by German prepositions, trust me, you are in exactly the right place. They can be so tricky, but today we're going to crack the code on one of the toughest parts, the two-way prepositions. And I promise you, by the end of this, you'll have one super simple rule to solve the whole puzzle. All right, let's just dive right in. Take a look at these two sentences. The only thing that really changes is one tiny little word, im versus in den, but the meaning, it flips completely. In one, the kids are already in the garden, just running around. And the other, they're outside and running into it. So what's the deal? How can such a tiny change have such a massive impact? Well, that's the mystery we are solving today. Now look, if your head is spinning a little bit, that's totally normal. You probably spent ages memorizing your lists of accusative prepositions and then your lists of dative prepositions, and just when you thought you had it all down, boom, you find out about this group of grammatical chameleons that can be both. So let's meet these chameleon prepositions head on. There are 10 of them, and they are the only ones in the entire German language that can pull this little switcheroo with their case. Get to know them, and you've basically unlocked a huge piece of the grammar puzzle. So, here they are, the whole gang. As you can see, they're all about describing where something is in space. On, above, under, between. The full list is an, auf, hinter, in, neben, entlang, über, unter, vor, and zwischen. That's it. That's the entire list. Once you have these in your head, you'll know exactly when to be on the lookout for this special rule. So, the big question. How do we know which case to use? Well, it all comes down to a really simple idea that I like to call the A to B rule. It's basically just one question that, if you ask it every single time, is going to give you the right answer. Okay, here's the secret sauce. It's all about location versus destination. If you're talking about a static, fixed location, and you can ask the question wo or where, it's always dative. But if you're describing a change of location, a journey to a new spot, and you can ask wohin or where to, it's accusative. That's the whole rule. Simple, right? Now listen up, because this is probably the single biggest mistake people make when they're learning this. We're often told that if you see a verb with motion, it must be accusative. But that's just not the whole story. You can be running, swimming, or dancing all over the place. But if you're staying within one fixed area, you haven't changed your location. So we have to get a little more specific. The real question isn't, is there movement? It's, is there a change of location from a point A to a point B? Is something crossing a boundary? Think back to those kids in the garden. Going from outside the garden to inside the garden, that is the A to B journey that triggers the accusative. Okay. Enough theory. The best way to really get this stuff to stick is to see it in action. So let's put our A to B rule to the test with a few examples. Let's start with the preposition an. In that first sentence, ich hänge das Bild an die Wand, I'm actively moving the picture from my hands, that's point A, onto the wall, which is point B. That's a journey, a change of location. So we use the accusative. But in the second one, das Bild hängt an der Wand, the picture's already there. It's just hanging out in a static location. There's no A to B journey happening, so it's dative. See the difference? Let's do another one with auf. When I say, ich setze das Glas auf den Tisch, I'm in the process of placing the glass. It's moving from point A, wherever it was before, so its new destination on the table, point B. That's our A to B journey, so it's got to be accusative. But once it's already there, das Glas steht auf dem Tisch. It's now in a static position. No journey, pure dative. It's that simple. Okay, one more. Let's really lock this in with unter. If das Kind kroch unter das Bett, we're describing the journey. The child is crawling from outside the bed, point A, to their new spot underneath it, point B. That change of location means accusative. But what if das Kind versteckt sich unter dem Bett? Well, here, the kid's already under the bed. The action of hiding is all happening in one static location, so we use the dative. You're seeing the pattern now, right? It's a really consistent, logical system once you see it. So let's package this all up into a tool you can use anytime, anywhere. Think of it like your brand new German grammar GPS. And here it is, your simple 4-step checklist. First step, you spot one of our 10 chameleon prepositions. Step 2, you ask the most important question. Is there an A to B journey happening here? Is something crossing a boundary? Step 3, if the answer is yes, you use the accusative. And step 4, if the answer is no, if it's just describing a static location, you use the dative. That's really all there is to it. So there you have it. You have totally got this. Just remember, that accusative case is only for that specific A to B journey. For every other situation with these 10 prepositions, whether it's a fixed location or just moving around within one area, you can confidently always default to the dative. So I'll leave you with a final thought to take with you. Now that you know the secret, just think about your own day, putting your keys on the table versus your keys just being on the table, walking into a room versus walking around in a room. How many little everyday actions can you now describe perfectly using both cases?